สวัสดีค่ะ Welcome to Hot Thai Kitchen. Today we are going to continue on with our yellow curry adventure. Now last week we made the curry paste, which is at the core of this curry, and we also covered what yellow curry is in Thai, which as a reminder is แกงกะหรี่. Now this week, without further ado, let's dive right into the remainder of our ingredients. 4 to 5 bone-in chicken thighs. I like to also trim off any flabby bits of skin. 300 grams potatoes, half a medium onion or one small one, 1 plus 3/4 of a cup of coconut milk, 1 cup of cherry tomatoes, 1.5 to 2 tablespoons of palm sugar, chopped, 1 to 2 tablespoons of fish sauce, 1 to 2 tablespoons of tamarind juice. So the first thing that we need to do is saute the curry paste. Now you can saute it in vegetable oil, which a lot of people do, but I'm going to saute it in reduced and separated coconut milk. And you've seen me do this before in masaman and green curry, and I'm going to do it again because it's the traditional way, and you also get more coconut flavor because you're adding more sort of concentrated coconut to it. But it's not a big deal if you just do vegetable oil. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bring it to a boil at about medium heat, so it's not splattering all over the place. And then once it reduces to very, very thick, you're going to start to notice that the texture of the coconut milk will be different. It'll start to separate, and that's the coconut oil in there getting destabilized and separating itself from the remainder of the coconut milk. So that's what we're looking for. If you're using canned coconut milk or some coconut milk that's been processed and homogenized and stabilized, that might not happen. Not a worry. You can still saute the curry paste in just reduced coconut milk. It doesn't have to separate. So we're gonna wait till that happens. Okay, so we're almost there. I can start to see the separation happening around the edges already. If yours doesn't, reduce it down to this point and then saute the curry paste in this anyway. It'll be fine. And it doesn't have to separate a lot because once you add the curry paste and you keep cooking, it'll keep separating as you do that. There. So I'm gonna go in with my curry paste that we freshly made. Again, the video will be in the tutorial section of my website for the curry paste. You can also use store-bought. That's probably about 5 tablespoons. And then I'm gonna cook this in the reduced coconut milk. The heat at this point, keep it pretty on the medium side because curry paste can burn. And why are we bothering with this separation? I mean, it's not absolutely necessary, but you get a much prettier curry in the end. There'll be a beautiful yellow, shiny coconut oil that's coating the top of your curry, making it just really beautiful, really bright color. So that's like a standard presentation of Thai curries. Is a lot of them, if it's coconut milk based, will have that beautiful sheen of oil on top. So it's really just for aesthetics. So it's been a couple minutes and this is the consistency you're looking for. I'm going to toss in our chicken just to get it coated. Smother the chicken in the curry paste. Really get in there, and this is so satisfying. I love this part. Once the chicken's all coated, we're gonna add the remaining coconut milk, and then we're also going to add some water, and that's because this coconut milk is what we call a first press, or the head of the coconut milk. It's very concentrated and it'll make the curry a little bit rich, unnecessarily rich, so we want to add some water to thin it out. If you were making fresh coconut milk for this, you would take the coconut pulp, press it again with more water, and that'll be your thin part of the coconut milk, or what we call the tail of the coconut milk. Then we'll use that to make up the rest of the curry, but we can just use water as well. Okay, so we're gonna let that come to a simmer, but before we do that, we are going to give it some seasoning. So I'm gonna add half of our fish sauce, just so the chicken has something to absorb, so the meat is not bland. We're also gonna add half of our palm sugar. And we're gonna bring this to a simmer and let it cook, let it braise for about 30 minutes. This is dark meat chicken and it's delicious when it's cooked slowly until it's fork tender. Okay, we're gonna let it go for 30 minutes, then we're gonna add all our vegetables. So we'll be right back. So while our curry is simmering away, we're going to talk a little bit about the cherry tomatoes. I'm going to put them in whole. But when you cook whole cherry tomatoes, what I'm going to do first is pierce the cherry tomatoes, so, just with the tip of a sharp paring knife until they are broken, okay, just like that. Now, the reason is when you cook whole cherry tomatoes, you either want to cut it in half or cook them until they break. Because what you want to avoid is heat them up, but not quite enough that they break and split, but enough that it's hot and then someone goes to eat it and it, boom, explodes in their mouth and burn their mouth. It's really not that pleasant. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stir these in at the end because I don't want these to mush because then it disintegrates into the curry and it dilutes the curry and all that. But the residual heat of the curry is just sort of gonna gently cook the tomatoes. Most of them are probably going to split just from that residual heat anyway, but I don't want to take any chances, so I want to make sure they are already broken so the hot steam inside has a way to get out. Okay, so just something to consider whenever you cook with cherry tomatoes. So it's been about 30 minutes now, and the chicken should almost be fork tender. Generally, thighs take about 45 minutes to get there, but this is when we're going to add all our vegetables. We are going to add our potatoes. So I'm using waxy potato, which is these yellow potatoes. You can also use the red-skinned one, but I'm using these as opposed to russet potatoes, which are starchy potatoes, because they hold their shape much better in soup. The starchy ones, which are good for making baked potatoes and mashed potatoes and whatnot, if you overcook them, they will tend to sort of disintegrate into the curry, and we don't want that. So we want something that can hold the shape better, because we want them to cook for quite a while so they have a chance to absorb. So we don't just want to, cook until they're just right and then take it off. We want them to sit there and hang out and mingle with the curry sauce. And also, we're going to add some onions. Now, the onions, if I add them at this point, when it's done, it'll still be in sort of pieces. If you want it to completely disintegrate and sweeten, sort of become a part of the sauce, you can add them right at the beginning. So it just depends. Or if you like them still a bit crunchy, hold off until the last few minutes and then add them then. So you can definitely customize. Now at this point, you can add a little bit more water if you feel like there's not enough liquid there, which I'm going to do, because you can never really predict when you make something that cooks for a long time how much water is going to evaporate exactly each time. Now, we're going to let this go until the potatoes are cooked and the onions are nice and soft. And then we're going to come back and give it a taste. Okay, so it's been about 15 to 20 minutes. The potatoes are cooked and they've absorbed all sorts of flavor in there. And so I'm going to turn off the heat, and then I'm going to just check that the chicken has become fork tender, or knife tender in my case. It's okay, I still sort of have an idea. Yep, that's tender. And now at this point you want to taste and adjust your final seasoning, because remember, we didn't add everything. So look at all that beautiful coconut oil that has floated to the top. Now some of that is also chicken fat that's come out. If you don't want a lot of added chicken fat, you can trim it off the chicken to begin with. If you didn't use skin on chicken fat, you won't have as much. You can also, if this is too much, scoop some off at this point. Give it a taste. It's quite good. So I'm gonna add just a little bit more of the fish sauce, maybe not everything. Some of the remaining sugar. And then I'm also going to add some tamarind juice. And tamarind juice I'm adding to this because this is a very rich and hearty kind of curry, and it's mainly salty with a little bit of sweet. Adding acid will brighten it up, and it'll turn it from this heavy, hearty, flat stew into something that's so much more exciting. So just a little bit. You don't want it to taste sour. So I'm going in with maybe 1 tablespoon first, depending on the concentration of your tamarind juice, and then give it a stir, taste it again. Yep, I think we're there. I don't want it to make it too sweet. I could add all the sugar, but you know what? I'm gonna hold that off. And at this point, we're gonna go in with the tomatoes. which will also add a burst of acidity when you eat it. You want to stir it in right after you turn off the heat, and then the residual heat of the curry will warm it through, will cook it, and by the time you serve it, some of them may have actually split open, but if they don't, then we've taken care of that as well. So that's pretty much done. Now you just serve the curry. Da 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 da! Here is our beautiful keng kari. Ooh, yes. Let's do that. Ooh. That looks nice. Now the standard garnish for this is usually fried shallots, crispy fried shallots. And it's the same one. I don't have any with me today because I forgot, admittedly. But what you would do is fry the shallots the same way I did in my Hat Yai fried chicken episode. So if you want to be, to go all out in authenticity, check out that episode and I go through how you can make crispy, delicious fried shallots to sprinkle on top of this curry. So always, always, always serve this curry with rice. I've also had this curry with quinoa and that was really delicious as well. So let's try a piece of chicken and a lot of sauce. There we go. And let's taste it. Oh, I also want a little piece of onion. Soft, sweet onions. If you can get a hold of sweet onions rather than regular yellow onions, do so because that will be more delicious. Careful, it's hot. That's so good. I want to do a yummy dance. In fact, I will do a yummy dance. That was really good. Yes, please. It's really easy, as you can see. Now, if you want to use store-bought curry paste and make this a quick and easy thing, go for it. Or make lots of extra curry paste so you'll have extra and keep it in the freezer. In either case, do try this one out. Let me know how it goes, either through Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Send me a photo. Or you can contact me through my website. And if you like the show, please click to subscribe so I can keep producing these shows for you. And I will see you next time for your next delicious Thai meal.